Hello, welcome to another episode of Bodybuilding and Beanies. It's been a short while.
It's been a
I,
minute.
what's that?
It's been a minute since you've actually done like a proper episode and not just like a random filler one.
What,
Like
what did we do last? What did we do last time? I think we just did an update,
a
didn't we?
random like 35-minute update. I had people messaging me saying, mate, don't do a fucking 30-minute one. That's so fucking pointless. They didn't say pointless, but they're like, I expected longer. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's been another update, I guess. Because it's been a short minute. We'll keep this
Yeah,
update
we'll do
short.
I don't mind doing like a 30-minute update. That's fine.
I'm trying to grow a beard. That's my update. It's been a week, and it just does. It go. It's here. And it's like not wanting to go to here, which is where I want it to go, so I can get a full beard look. It's getting thicker, but it's just looking horribly patchy. And
Give you a full blast of DHTs and you'll be fine.
yeah,
Mine's still not great, but at least it connects now. It didn't before I ever touched any anabolics.
oh, it just looks shit, doesn't it?
Nah, it'll blossom. Stay positive.
You're trying to keep me positive. I'm giving it another fucking 2 weeks and shaving it right off, mate. I don't know.
Because
Maybe
like your tash and then like the bottom of your beard is so like full.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like this, bro. I can chew this. Like I can get it into my mouth, bro. Like. Oh, anyway, yeah, that's my. I think that's my only bit of updates. What else? Oh no, YouTube video dropped. Go and check it out. YouTube, the link. Subscribe, comment, like, maybe if you want to. It's a pretty.
Should I put our YouTubes in in the caption from now on?
Yeah, why not?
Because I upload all the time on YouTube. I'm definitely not slacking on it.
Daily, isn't it? Daily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I upload daily on there.
twice
Uh,
daily. Twice
yeah,
daily on
loads,
YouTube.
loads, all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm about 3 times daily at the moment as well. To be fair, like
I
first.
actually, I actually had some people saying, like, "Oh, where's the YouTube?" And I was like, and some people say like, "Oh, I get it's like easier to film in prep because like you look better." And I was like, I didn't when I was prepping last year, I didn't show my physique once on YouTube. I was gutted, but I always find like when you filmed with Mancuso the other day,
Yeah.
it's nice to have like a bit of like a fly on the wall.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
when we filmed with Tom and Harrison last year, it
Yeah.
was just nice to just almost like have a chat. And then if we actually want to say something informative, there's a camera there. Whereas like the videos that I've done myself, I can do them like that. I could film Women X Training Wednesday if I wanted to, but it's just a bit of a nightmare to like set because I don't have a camera, it's just my phone. Set the phone up exactly where I want it. Then you're almost like on the spot to like say something ideally informative, but also like my YouTube videos are like I try to be quite funny in a way, and like I feel like if you're on the spot, you can't really be like
I think what I said to you and maybe I kind of like Tom as well, Tom Taylor, is that for me, my issue is I'm lazy with the content. Like I'm awful with organizing. Like it's because I don't like it. I don't like having
what
to
do you
organize
mean? Mate,
myself.
what do you mean? We always have podcast reels going up.
Listen, right, okay, okay. Actually, I'm not even gonna fucking try to redeem myself here. Yes, prime example, right? I'm as a coach, it's not good because that's my main marketing tool, and my ability to organize and want to record content is shambolic. I hate it. But my thing is, if I'm going to be investing into a camera soon, so I can go YouTube pretty much not full time, but my thought process is if I record everything,
Mm.
I can't miss something. And with Mancuso, that session really brought to life that you've watched the video, haven't you?
Yeah.
That I'm way more informative. That hence why in these podcasts, I'm way more informative when I'm just talking. When I'm
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
like when you're not pressured to go, right, I'm now sitting down for a reel. I'm going to talk about this. It's like I was doing a pec fly in the video and I was talking about why this machine's a luxury to me and why I can, this part of the session, I can now do a length into mid-range bias pec fly. That was off the spot because I wanted to speak about it.
Yeah.
Not, I'm going to sit here and talk about, I don't know, fucking length and partials.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything. It's even like check-ins, for example. I find like if I could clip up my check-ins and put them onto an Instagram reel which doesn't look incredibly tacky and naff, instead of just screen recording it, I'll be absolutely sound because I'm like, it might be something that the client's spoken about, whether it be training, nutrition, drugs, and because it's like a conversation. it comes naturally. Whereas when I'm just setting up a camera and I'm going blah 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 blah, I don't want to say you get lost, but you're almost like because you're talking about one thing and there's so much to talk about for that, you're trying to nitpick the most important things, but then you might miss something which is still important, but you want to have it in. Whereas like if it's like having a chat about something, it's just a lot easier. Do you get what I
For,
mean?
m- for me, yeah, literally, bro. I feel like for me, it's like you're not answering a question. For me, if you ask me a question, it's different.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like if you ask me a question, I'll go, ah, shit, okay. Like in check-ins, they put on the, okay, he agrees. On the check-in, they will put like, this is my week, X, Y, and Z. Oh, what do you think about this? I've seen this online. I'll go, here's my thoughts about it. But if I was thinking about like real topics and I thought, oh, I'll talk about that, and I try to sit down and record it, it just all that information goes.
Yeah.
So I feel like being in conversation, being even in a public environment, there's music going on or something like that, maybe just allows me just to spiel it off. Like when I'm in conversation with you in the gym or Tom in the gym or something like that, it just comes way better, which is why I'm going to, like I said, invest into a camera and record maybe 2 videos a week, something like that. And in terms of the content style, to make it easier in editing, it's legit going to be like a Sam Sulek ripoff, but not.
Yeah.
What I say to that is just lack of editing.
Yeah.
Just this is me going to the gym. This is me training at the gym. Here's me starting work. Here's meal free bed type of
But
video.
that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do with like annoyingly any car I've ever owned. I can't. You know when you have like a phone holder for a car, you put it up on
Yeah.
the top. My phone will not like the things that you will get doesn't stick to my phone's vent, like my car's vent, because normally like a rectangle, one, don't you? Mine a circle.
No, bro. Like 1 second. I'm gonna save your life here.
Really?
I'm gonna save your life here, bro.
Even like ones where like I've got the ones which like you stick to like the
Have you
windscreen.
have you got MagSafe on your phone?
A what?
MagSafe.
What's that?
The magnetic the magnetic thing on the back of your phone like this, which allows your phone to stick to the you won't be able to see it on the back of your phone. What phone is it?
15 plus.
Yeah, you'll have MagSafe. Right, I'm just gonna send you a link now on WhatsApp.
No,
Fuck
but like
off.
literally, like even like something which sticks to a windscreen.
No,
And look,
no,
our windscreen doesn't work.
bro. I used to have an A3.
That's
This
exactly the car I've got.
yes, I used to have an A3. This thing was the best thing I ever bought. There you go. I just sent you a link.
If I put it through as a business expense.
Possibly.
Oh, sound.
You literally get like a screwdriver or something, and you pull out your vent slightly. It comes out really, it comes, your vent comes out well easily, and you put it between your two vents, and you push one of your vents back in, and then it sits in between your two circle vents in the middle.
I'll make that sound. That's perfect. Because I'd want nothing more than to have my phone there, obviously put it in landscape so I can film, and then just chat as I'm driving to the gym.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I'll do that
Right, YouTube coming 3 times a week,
daily,
every single yeah.
daily.
Um,
Morning, lunch, and dinner video.
that's the yeah. I do want to get more YouTube stuff done. I need to get booked in with Cam as well because I want to get a few reels done. But I'm also like, I don't know. Whenever I feel like I'm booking in with a video crew, I'm like, I need to have a plan of what I want to say
Yeah,
about that.
it's it. I'll be honest, I went there with no plan because that's how I want to keep my videos. Like, I'm gonna be with Mancuso once per month roughly. So like, I'll have when I get my camera, it's gonna be like videos maybe once, twice per week, and then once per week, once per month, it'll be like or cinematic fucking video with way better fucking visuals, and
Yeah.
that's how I run my YouTube basically. But I'm just gonna go with no plan unless there's like really specific things I want to talk about. Um, but again, I want to try and keep it in line with like a session related topic or something like that, or case study, I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's the update. YouTube's and that. I'm sure when if and when Josh starts proper YouTube will be back out for him, definitely.
Day one.
What's it called now? Trunks are back on part two or
Ugh, probably what the fuck am I doing?
Road to Gold, is it? That's what I'll be on as well.
Wait,
Road to
yeah, yeah, no, no. Wait, road to gold. Don't you mean like road to being able to have an opinion?
yes.
You're not allowed to have an opinion if you can't win anything. I'll just jump into like an easy show or something just so I can say I've done it.
Yeah, do like I don't know, fix or something.
Yeah, something. Honestly, I can't even go NFM again because they're not a thing anymore. It's gut. But like, in terms of like my update, nothing really. I'm still just running the same split which I spoke about last time, which is like the split I ran after my first prep, which was push pull or pull push rest legs rest A and B rotation. Sometimes I'll mix it up if I need to. For example, if I need to or want to train like legs, then push or push the legs or something, I'll just change it up. But it works quite well. There's a lot more like recovery in it, but my sessions are also like a lot more demanding. Like every single session is probably a bit longer, probably got a bit more volume in it, which is good because I feel that the sessions are a lot more productive. Probably like the most up thing I've got out of training like ever at the moment, which is cool. And then as of today, food's not up, which I'm happy about, so my appetite's in the bin. Drugs are up as well, and my stat design has ever so slightly changed, which is basically rolls in quite nicely to what we kind of wanted to chat about on the podcast today, which is regarding adding in secondary compounds, which compounds we'd go for, which compounds we wouldn't go for, reasons why, X, Y, and Z. As my stack is now test, mast, and I've now got EQing, which I used to be very much against, and in some cases I still am, but it's very sort of like person dependent. It's going to be potentially more toxic towards your kidneys. So if that's the case, maybe not for you. But then again, everyone's going to be a little bit different. If your red blood cell count, if your hemoglobin isn't taking a massive battering from it, and you can use it and you get good results from it, you can still stick with it. But then again, with any anabolic, you're going to have side effects, but it's the degree of what side effects determines how much you can take. For example, you could aromatize from 200 milligrams of test. You could aromatize from 1200 milligrams of test. It just depends how much your sort of body responds. So yeah, I thought we'll just make the podcast about that.
Drugs. More drugs. What people love to hear about. Drugs, drugs, drugs. They don't like to hear about diet. They don't like to hear about training.
Trying to
Drugs.
sell.
Yeah, literally. So if we don't smash 1,000 likes in this video, then we're never talking about drugs again. So I want to see it. All
Two
right.
things which sell the most in bodybuilding: drugs and sex.
Bodybuilding, drugs, sex.
Sex
Uh,
just you link
oh,
anything to sex and it sells.
okay, true. Okay, fine. I was like, am I missing the kick there? I was like, oh, sorry, I might have edited your joke out there, bro. I apologize. Maybe
No,
because
no, it
of
wasn't a joke. It's just like literally, if you link anything to sex, it will just sell.
oh yeah, yeah, true. I mean,
Like
we've all got
if you say this is how you get a really sexy physique, it sounds better, doesn't it?
oh no.
Yeah,
Like yeah, yeah, true actually. If you say that, yeah, but like realistically, like I mean it's an objective thing, isn't it? Some people think fat people
it's
are
subjective.
sexy. Subject oh whatever. Fucking grammar check over here, whatever it is. Right, so I don't know who wants to start off. I mean, you talked
Well,
about your
we spoke about before we even started about you've used Proviron and I never have. They
yes.
will start mild and work up.
Yeah, true. So obviously, I'm probably. I think it's probably a little bit more fresh to me in terms of the experiences of increasing and escalating because I'm currently going through escalation right now, which is through the DHT path, or let's just say the Primobolan path currently. Whereas Josh has been on that for a little bit of a longer time, so I'm a bit more fresh to this experience. Let's say maybe. But obviously Josh is more educated maybe in that fashion because of you know.
I'd say it's just more like sort of like anecdotally, if you get what I mean.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's the same reason why, like, I know Tim said it, we had him on. Like, we were both like, you did really well with Josh Connon last year because you haven't got the anecdotal evidence of, I used this drug, this is what I felt from this drug, this is what you might find. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And that was obviously just playing a safe bet, really. Like, I mean, we're still really not pushed past that fucking milligram with him, but we're going to be escalating soon, which is good. But on my front, obviously, the thing is, well, which interesting, we'll both kind of maybe delve into our stacks a little bit deeper because I think we had a discussion before this call, and it's interesting to see. We had a bit of a, I don't know, just like a talk about. how like you've escalated versus how I would, and we come up with a theory. I was like, wait, well, why has this not been done before? Like trying to escalate like together, and we'll talk about that in a little bit in the call. But I mean, Proviron, it's it's probably the most mild thing you can take. It's firstly an oral, it's the HT derivative. It has probably little to none in terms of androgen. Um, how would you say that? Androgenosity? Like, do you know what I mean? Less androgen effect,
Then it's less
basically.
androgenic.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Androgenic. Wow.
Yeah, I
So
had
yeah,
to spell check today.
it's the least androgenic. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. It's the least androgenic thing you could possibly take, realistically. Now, in terms of like an actual anabolic. Now, in terms of what it can do, is in summary, it will make testosterone. We obviously got past the point in the first video, which is a couple of months ago now at this point, I think. Testosterone base. Now, if you are a person that you've gone into first testosterone base, you've got your blood to come back, maybe estrogen's a little bit higher than you want it to be. You obviously the first point of call is like, right, let's look into a DHT derivative, Primabol and Masteron, or going down a different route or whatever, and changing your stack. Now, something you could implement is Proviron. It's quite cost effective. It's easy to take. It's an oral. You can take it every single day. Low dosages. Not liver toxic. It's like I said, low androgenic. But what it can do is it can aid in modulating estrogen better, and as a result as well, making testosterone actually a bit more effective.
Am I right in saying it increases your testosterone, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So it's not something which is going to probably massively give you up in that sort of total dosage, etc. But what it can do is it can
I
help.
wouldn't say it's a game changer, but I think it definitely helps get more out of the least.
Yes, it literally that. It's like, you're somebody, maybe you're a bit worried to go and just double the dose. Do you know what I mean? Or to keep titrating upwards. Maybe you just want to just keep on this for a little bit while, but maybe, there's some markers there, some estrogen, which is a bit like, oh, okay, maybe we should look at doing something about it. You could look at Proviron. And it's like I said, it's a very easy thing to implement. You will see almost immediate effects with that. Um, and like I said, low androgenic, low liver toxicity. It's a good starting point, possibly. Um, which then leads on to the next pathways. If that's something you don't want to do, I mean, for me currently, I'm on testosterone, Proviron, and Primobolan, so I'm taking still Proviron to this day, and it works well for me. I mean, I've not had any evidence outside of that because I've always taken it with my testosterone, as that's what's set by my coach. But you know, that's how we move. But I guess moving through the pathways, then you'd look into possibly the HT derivatives being primo or mast. And I guess where you could take from your story, I don't know where you started, what you started on, and X, Y, and Z when you took your
So,
first escalation.
and it's weird because recently I've had a lot of conversations with people, be it clients or like question boxes and just people through Instagram regarding like a secondary sort of compound, what you would add in, why you would add in certain things over other things. A lot of the conversations have been regarding a DHT derivative, so max or primo in regard as opposed to something like EQ. I've never run EQ before. We're putting it in from now. Reason being is we sort of want to just change things up, see if we can get a little bit more out of less total sort of milligrams. Like EQ is going to be a test derivative instead of DHT derivative, so it's going to aromatize. But I've never had any sort of negative side effects from like aromatization. I've never had any gyno. I've never had pretty much anything. I'm quite lucky in that aspect, but that's almost like where we kind of want to just almost like push things and just almost like see where I'm at from that sort of perspective. And then also like I kind of want to have more anecdotal evidence in terms of like using a different compound, which other people might have done, which I haven't. For example, I've got clients who have used EQ in the past and have had good results from it. But then as much as I know research behind different drugs, I want to understand firsthand how I feel with certain drugs, what I got on better with, etc. Because I've got a lot of experience regarding Primo, Mastron, and how they've worked very, very well, but not with something else. So I basically just wanted to sort of see how that does. Obviously, with EQ, there's There's going to be issues regarding raising potential like hematocrit, red blood cell count, essentially just having a bit of like effect on kidney health. So that's something to look at. But again, it will depend on the individual. If I had my blood done a couple of weeks ago, so we've got that markers almost like halfway in this blast. If it gets towards the end of the blast and we get the blood work done again, and there's not like a significant hit or not any hit at all, then it's like, well, I can tolerate EQ. Sam might be different. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's going to be a bit different. So I always wanted to sort of have a look upon how I sort of respond to it. But generally speaking, your second compound will be a DHT derivative, so mast or primo. They're very, very similar. There's there's a lot of research behind primo being a bit more sort of like tissue selective, so potentially blood work being less affected by primo, but to what extent is relatively sort of like unknown. Like it might be like 1%. I was actually having a chat to someone in the gym today about this. But yeah, I've not really seen any major differences in my blood work. My first cycle, well, not my first cycle with a DHT in, I ran primo and test, that was it. Then we added in mast. Then it was mast and primo. Then it was just mast. And I've had like different sort of variants. There's not been that much of a difference, but I've definitely felt my best ever looks have been when I've got master in, not primo. You throw in the fact primo is a lot more faked. Yes, if you can get primo 100% and money's not an issue, maybe go towards that because there's a lot more evidence to support it being potentially a little bit more beneficial than mass, potentially a bit more productive, less sort of toxic towards blood work, a bit more tissue selective, as I said. But if it's more likely going to be faked, you're probably not going to be taking 100% primo, whereas mast isn't going to be faked as much. It's also a lot more high concentrated per mils, and it's also going to be a lot cheaper. You get a lot more bang for your buck with mast.
So
So
in a nutshell,
go to mast for
yeah.
that.
And
Really,
then
actually, I will caveat to that. I completely forgot. I've had one potential side effect, which is from mast. Which ester was it? Propionate. It's the only one I've ever had a side effect of.
what was that?
I like very minute. It was almost like sweat spots. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just like dots everywhere across my back. And I was absolutely shitting myself. But it was pretty much like a couple of days after I pinned it. As soon as it came out, I went on holiday, it went bang, gone. Never use propionate ever again. Been absolutely fine.
Why do you do that? Was it just out of curiosity, or
What do you mean?
why did you use P? Mass P?
This is all I got.
Oh.
He's all the guy who had it at the time, really.
It's all I got, mate. This is all I got. It's the last one on the
Yeah.
shelf.
I ordered it. He was like, I haven't got any antibiotic. And I was like, propionate's fine. I was like, yeah, sound it'll kick in sooner.
Yeah,
Um,
straight just veggie oil, mate, and that was it.
yeah, so it's a bit strange. I've also had, to be fair, I've had some Primo come in a vial, which really was like a 15 mil, not a 10 mil vial. You never really see 15, you see 50s. It was like had a bit of a yellow tint. I remember pinning it and I was like, that stings a bit, and then just coughing profusely for about 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, it might have been a bit of a trend. I remember I'd literally pin it, I'd be like,
Man got instant trend cough.
yeah,
Um,
brilliant.
so I think obviously in terms of summary, then like really in terms of the DHTs and let's say Primo and Mast, you can't really go wrong with what you go down the route of. Realistically, I mean,
And
it's
like
all
even with Primo Mast DHTs, they're probably the I don't want to say probably because again, everything's going to be very subjective towards the individual. You can run them quite high and not really get many negative sides at all. Hence why you'll see a lot of people running a cycle and they've got, let's say, a base of 500, 600 tests, whatever that is, and they've got their DHT derivatives like a gram plus because you can run them that high. Like I remember back in the day, I think it Jordan Peters who said, like, was it if you're not taking at least 600 milligrams of Primo, you're wasting your time. And that might be very wrong. I think it was JP, but I can't remember exactly what he said.
me
Uh,
hurting right now.
yeah, if you're not taking it, you're absolutely wasting your time.
Well,
Yeah, you got to take at least a gram. You've got to spend at least £40 a week on Primo.
it's
But I
the
think that's also a case of like you can get away with it being high, so you can run it quite a lot. But then obviously you don't want to just throw it in at a gram day one. There's no point.
yeah.
But like usually that'll be like the second compound which you go for. you can then experiment with other things. I think eventually we'll do a podcast on like a third compound being added in. Like I think it'd be good to go through things like MPP, Tren, EQ. But I think for this sort of podcast, we'll just leave it at just why you would utilize Mass Primo as your second compound.
Or provide.
Or Provide, yeah. But then again, I've seen a lot of people that their first cycle just starts off like, for example, I'm pretty sure with you, you've started with test and Provide straight away.
Yeah,
You get what I mean?
out the gate. Yeah, it's. I think that's a coaching preference. To be fair, I don't think it's necessarily
Yeah, because I see a lot of coaches running it all the time with every single client, test and Provide, test and Provide, test and Provide. And then got other coaches who will just not bother.
I think it's one of the things. I think it's like almost like a bit of a safety protocol because it can modulate your estrogen a little bit. It kind of enables you to straight out of the gate sort of push test high, and hopefully allow yourself to mitigate at least some like estrogenic side effects out the gate. It's almost like I said, it's almost like an AI out the gate, but it's not an AI in that respect. So it's like a little bit of DHT to just help modulate estrogen a little bit, improve testosterone's capabilities or function a bit better, and that's really it. Like it's not going to be game changer, but it might just help you run your test a bit longer.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, in terms of Masteron and Primo, there's no real wrong way to go about it. You can run either or. Like I said, subjective, like Josh said, based upon your blood work, you might want a bit more estrogen modulation. You might have the bank to run Primo. It just depends. You might want to 50-50 it. You might want to go for 80-20. You can run it however you really want, but that's something which you'll see over time when escalating based upon blood work, and then you can modulate accordingly based upon, I think most people from what it's very mixed opinions to be fair, like in the industry, I find.
Yeah,
So
everything sort of is. Everything always will be. Like you're gonna have people who will always prefer like something else. Like
it's like comparing fucking Messi and Ronaldo, really, isn't it? It's kind of like it's kind of how I feel that the conversation goes, to be honest. It's one of them. It's like they both have got their cons and some of and you, but realistically their pros are very much matched. So it just depends on what cons you want to or negatives you want to go with. That's it.
obviously you haven't used it within like a sort of like contest prep setting, have you?
I haven't personally no, but
Did you do it with Josh much?
yeah, but we just stuck with the gun because we just stuck with what we knew, which was Primo.
Yeah.
So, but this, no, actually, I lied. We did actually run a bit of mast in prep. We changed it out. We 50-50'd it actually in prep. I just remembered.
Do you find
Um,
much of like a difference in like visuals from that?
I mean, it wasn't drastic, but like again, in terms of what it was running, it wasn't much. Do you know what I mean? So it was like went from 400 primo to 200 primo and 200. We saw more of a difference adding in orals, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's where I saw more of the
Yeah,
difference.
I think with an oral, that's where you're going to have like your most like the most improvement in like a cosmetic sort of look.
Yeah,
The orals will literally change your physique like that.
yeah,
Like you take some Anavara Winchell before you train, you look completely different.
yeah.
It's a different sort of physique completely. Um, but essentially, like you would use either like for pretty much the same reason within like an off season or like a sort of contest prep, like within an off season, you're going to increase like the sort of anabolic profile of your stack without, well, not without, with modulating your estrogen a little bit better. You're going to be able to grow and you're not going to have that sort of excess water retention, which you might have with maybe testosterone or for something like MPP, for example, or even EQ potentially. And obviously that helps in a contest prep because you're then going to be able to provide a much drier sort of look. Hence why, especially if you're using, well, depending on the ester anyway, if you're using an anti-ester 2 to 3 weeks out from a show, you might modulate your stack a bit more to bring down testosterone, drive up DHT derivatives, just to drive away some more water as well. But in my opinion, it's a much healthier way of the old school test and fucking AI. It's the same rationale. Test and an AI is the exact same rationale in theory of testing a DHT derivative. It's just the DHT derivative isn't going to batter your lipids as much, and you're still going to have estrogen present. It's just the DHTs aren't going to bring about estrogen.
it's all the same way, isn't it? But I mean, realistically, this whole PED talk with everyone goes on about like everyone's talking about this is the best, this is the best. I mean, it's just like everything else, like training and stuff. You do what you can do, and like in terms of what you can handle, what works best for you. It's the same shit. Don't have to follow the same recipe book. I'm not doing the same as Josh. Josh's not doing the same as me, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
It's the way that the coach operates. It's the way that, we know that it's also a lot of comfort as well with it. Like if you run X, Y, and Z for a period of time, it works for you. You're probably gonna stick to that for most of it. If you try to switch something up, the grass might be greener, or it might not be. Hence why you switching up now is just a trial to see if you can get drive more,
yeah,
anabolism through a different pathway,
yeah.
or same pathway, but I guess in a different format. And that's the whole thing about this. You find what works for you and you run it until you win the Olympia,
Yeah, no,
basically.
and then when you have something which works well, you don't really need to change it at all. Like I find like everyone always gets something where they get like a really good result from a certain drug or a certain way of doing things. And like, yeah, that's good, but I kind of want to change it. Why change it? Same with like peak weeks. Do you get what I mean? It's like people have like a really good peak and they'll just change it for the chance of getting 1% better, but then ruin the look by 50%. There's no point. Like if you're looking great, run a usual sort of carb
It's copy and
load.
paste.
Yeah.
Copy and fucking paste, like legit. I mean, some dynamics might change. I remember like I say Josh's prep. I mean, the first show he came in a bit fucking fuller. We just tapered it down a little bit more in terms of the loading on the second peak, and then we was copy and paste through the rest of them really. So that was it. But yeah, I mean, like I said with PDs, what else? I mean, we do want to touch
We
base on
could, I think we
HB.
could maybe cover Anavar in here as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
I
obviously I
feel like
would say
if it was ever to be an oral, which I was to deploy in an off season, it probably would be Anavar.
I've not had personal experience with it, but I've had personal experience putting on
I've had
somebody
personal experience with accidentally taking it when I go and train arms.
accidentally, yeah.
Yeah, really, just slipped in.
Someone put it into your pre-workout meal.
Yeah, I just accidentally slipped. I just accidentally, like, completely don't know how it happened. Accidentally took a couple of 10 milligram Anavars from a bikini girl.
You
No,
thought it was narcotics instead, that's what you thought
yeah,
it was.
yeah. I thought it was MDMA, and I was like, I'm gonna go and train arms. That'd be a fantastic idea. Shit. Oops.
Bad time, it was a bad time. He was accepting a trip and got more veins instead. It was just not wasn't ideal.
No,
But
Anavar's again very, very in terms of an oil, probably like aside from Proviron, but even that, I probably wouldn't class Proviron as like an oral in comparison to like
it's
I wouldn't class it as an oral in regards to actual anabolics. Do you get what I mean?
for example, you cannot run Proviron by itself.
Yeah,
You can, but I mean, you're not going to probably feel very good on it, to be honest.
yeah.
So
Like with Anavar, like with any oral, you're going to probably knock down your hunger a decent bit. You're probably also going to hit your lipids a lot harder. And it's very, very easy to run up your total milligrams with an oral. For example, if you're training 5 times a week and you took 50 milligrams of Anavar every single session, that's an extra 250 milligrams a week like that.
yeah,
You probably would never escalate by 250 milligrams straight off the bat. If you were to escalate, you might go up by 100 milligrams.
does wonders, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I think maybe it has a place because it can definitely benefit your training a lot. Hence why it's deployed about 8 to 6 weeks out in a contest prep. And of course, in a contest prep, it's going to develop that harder sort of look anyway. Um, in off season, it can help for sure. Is it going to be an absolute game changer? No, because when you're off season, you're a bit softer. Do you really care if you bring a better look to the posing room when you
It
fight?
probably has a very similar implementation period as, for example, Tren in an off season.
Yeah, maybe.
It has that not short lifespan, but it has that limited lifespan period within a. But you got to be mindful that, let's say you're running from an off season into prep, for example, you're gonna be wanting at least your blood to probably be in a better place prior to prep starting. So I mean, your coach would be able to manage that. You'd have a period of time where you'd probably have a clearance period, then go into your prep and obviously look at that. But you gotta be mindful that obviously if you don't want to go into prep damaged because you're gonna do some extreme damage. Like I thought about this. We're planning Josh's prep, and I thought about this. I was thinking like I was road mapping it all out, and realistically, his pre-prep phase is 8 weeks, which is just a clearance period, and then his prep's 12 weeks, to his first show. And I was thinking, I was like, realistically, your exposure, like if I was to put you on that pre-prep phase, if I was to start you off, on drugs at that pre-prep phase, that's a 20-week prep plus then your shows after that, which is another 8 weeks. It's like 28 to 30 weeks on cycle, which to me is just like it's a
Yeah.
long time for exposure, especially.
I think ideally, if you can start your prep on a cruise, like a health phase, let's say you've got a 20-week prep and you're done after 20 weeks, you might have a show at like 16 weeks in, 18 weeks, 20 weeks in. You could basically start a cycle at 12 weeks out, 10 weeks out, put in some anabolics. You've then got some time after show to rebound. And then
I think the logistics of it works so much better because at the start of your prep, you're more likely to retain your lifts. You've still got high food, so you should be again be able to recover and retain your lifts pretty well, whilst trying to get off at least a lot of the body fat in them 8 weeks. And then once you've got through that hard bit of stunt without any drugs, and you give yourself a boost by putting drugs back in, the look's going to change, dynamic changes. Your scale weight might not go down, but you just start getting better and better and better every single day. Your lifts are improving potentially.
I think that obviously within a contest prep, that's where I think you see the biggest change in when anabolics go in. Because in a contest prep, like, I don't think, everyone says that, oh, I'm cruising, I can feel it. I don't really think you feel a cruise until like the last week before you put drugs in, to be honest, personally. I fucking,
I was about to say that
I hate
when I
it.
was cruising,
I think, um, have you watched the Physique Pro podcast?
the most recent one, yeah,
I swear Ben said something about this. Maybe not today, but the one that went up
episode three.
and he mentioned about like people go on a cycle, they're like, oh, all my lifts are down, everything's down.
I think it was the first episode that was,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember I put a post about it as well, like when I was on a cruise in like November. I was like, it grinds my gears so much when people say, "Oh, I'm on a cruise, so therefore I'm so much weaker." You started your cruise today. You pinned your blast yesterday.
People don't know how esters work.
Just shut up. Maybe if you're like 6 to 8 weeks into a cruise, yeah, you probably aren't going to feel exactly the same, but it's never really like a night and day difference. Do you get what I mean? Like that you're never going to feel like I don't feel significantly more improved than I did a month ago, even though my
You
anabolic.
know what I feel like you need? That's really funny. I thought about this. I was thinking like, how funny would it like? Firstly, like I think they're talking about on the podcast as well. Like, you don't know if you've got bunk gear or not. You
Yeah.
could blast in on bunk gear, and you're
I,
thinking, "Oh, I feel so good. Like I feel amazing on bunk gear." You could be a 7 nanomole and go, "I feel fucking amazing right now."
this is the thing. When I was peak of I want to say first cycle slash second cycle because it was like a first cycle, then we added in primo to the end of the year. End of that, I was probably on about say 400 test, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I had my bloods done when I was on about 200, 250, 300. And my bloods came back then about say 90 to 95 nanomoles. Got our bloods done, peak blast 400, then I want to say 400 to 500, 600 primo, can't really remember to be honest. Bloods came back just to natty.
Well,
But I just, granted, it wasn't a very good set, but the last week of my blast, I just pulled like 260 for two. And I was like,
it's all up here. Now, obviously, that's like 80%, 90% will be up here. And there will be a 10%, which is if everything's true, there's no bunk gear involved, you probably will have some sort of either visual or maybe physical decline. But I just thought, them people with diabetes and they have them things in the back of their arm which like monitors their fucking
hmm,
blood glucose all the time. I was thinking, imagine if you had one of them attached to your arm and it was just giving you your gear that you need all the time.
yeah.
Like, and your coach controls it, but you don't have a clue what phase you're in. And they're like, right, and they're like, right, it's time for cruise now. He doesn't know. You put him into cruise. You wouldn't have a fucking Scoobies, mate.
Wouldn't
You
literally
just you
never.
just proceed and you go and your coach goes, oh, you're looking a bit softer this week. You go, no, yeah, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? You just listen to your coach and you just crack on as you fucking are.
Hmm.
But it's because everyone goes, right, you're in cruise. Like, they're like, oh, time to hang throw the towel in. Let's fucking throw the towel in. We're cooked for the next fucking 8 weeks. You
No, but
know?
I find it funny as well because I need to sneeze in a second. It's really annoying. Can you see my eyes going?
Yeah, I can see it's in your face, mate.
Um, I've actually done something similar, but with people's food in the past. So when people have been dieting before,
Bro blends it and feeds it through a tube.
no. This is obviously I spoke about it with the clients at the time.
Yeah,
It would be either clients who felt very hungry in a diet and it would like get them down. They wouldn't necessarily eat off plan, but they'd feel horrendous, like they just hate their life because they're hungry. But I had other clients who would be like, I can't get food in. It's like this amount of food is too high. So what I did is I didn't tell them macros. I would know the macros. I'd know exactly where their food would be.
yeah,
But I would say I've pulled X amount of rice, X amount of cream of rice, blah blah blah, or I've put in a bit more.
yeah,
This is what you eat. Don't work it out. I told them, literally said, whatever you don't put this into my fitness pal. They didn't. They were able to eat more food. They were able to eat less food in a diet or in a gainer phase, whatever. And they
yeah.
didn't feel anywhere near as, because I think it's, again, it's all in your head. And it's even like, I remember seeing, whose video? I think it might have been Finn Kelly's video years ago. And they were like dead, he was like deadlifting or something. So like they spoke about um someone who was like doing a deadlift or something, but someone put black bags over it,
Yeah.
over like what was on the side so they couldn't see it. And they're able to pull like 10-20% more than they ever could do before because they don't know what it is there.
I
And again,
think
very
it's
similar to
it's like
dr-
just imagine your peak off season, you're eating 4,500 calories and you couldn't eat any more. Appetite was in the bin. As soon as you start seeing on the check-ins, your coach is putting your calories up to let's say 4,300, you're preempting that. Oh, your next increase, you're gonna be fucking full.
yeah,
So you see that next increase go to 4,500, you go, oh fucking, I feel like shit now, I can't eat. Whereas you didn't have a fucking clue, and they put it to 4,600 or 4,700, the
mm,
difference is minor. It's like what? It's like 50 grams of carbs. You can have that an inch of workout,
yeah, literally.
and you wouldn't have a fucking Scoobies, mate.
You
You
literally
just
just drink a Lucozade Sport with a meal, you'd be absolutely fine.
yeah, and this is what I mean. People just they see that calorific intake. Like I've got one thing I will prop is my client Ben. He's a fucking machine. Like I shit you not. This so he was a previous fatty. Um, but he's not now. He's a handsome. He'll appreciate me for saying that. Ben, if you listen to this, you were a fatty. He's a previous fatty, and now he's just some stud in university, putting away 5,500 calories, mate. Like,
The thing
and
is,
he just
I've got people in the same sort of boat where they're almost like they don't really like they don't get affected by what they see food wise, and like they don't get like, oh, my food's gone up, I'm not going to feel hungry. I got a client called Dylan. He came to me in April last year. I think like 77, 76 kilos. He's now sitting around 93.
mm,
Looks night and day better. He's never missed a meal. Consistently gets 5,000 calories in. We started his calories at 2,000. But
the
then,
worst. The
yeah,
worst thing I see is when he sends me a photo of his food, though, Ben. It looks like some war crime. Like I look at it, I go, that is fucking horrible, mate. I said, put some seasoning or do something with it, please.
you know what's mad? I didn't even clock this till I prepped this year. So you know when what's like your first meal?
What do you mean, like every day?
Yeah, if you weren't training first thing in the morning, what would your first meal be?
My first, no, but my first, if I'm training, I don't have anything. I go fasted, but I have an inch of workout.
So but say if you were training at like, say if you're training on the weekend, you're training at midday, you're having one meal, then pre. What's your first meal? Usually like
My
egg.
first meal every day is bacon, egg, sourdough,
Yeah.
avocado, spinach.
So when I'm in prep, I'll always season the eggs. Tastes so much nicer.
But in off season, I said this on a check-in the other day. I
No,
don't know what
wait,
it
wait.
is.
Last off season, right? Three eggs, 200 grams of egg whites. Just put salt and pepper on it. Hated it every single fucking day. Don't know why. Now I know why. Now I season it. piss easy.
Bro,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about fucking off season and people, but like off season and diet. In diet, you try to make food taste nicer, but in
Mhm.
off season, because it's so much, you can't be arsed, so you just make it taste like shit.
No, but
And
then you hate
it's
it even more because it tastes of shit.
yeah, it's the reversal.
And it's like, but I literally clocked that when I was in prep. I'm like, I just started realizing I'm making my food taste nicer because I'm just a bit more hungry. Why did I do this in an off season? I wouldn't have struggled. I don't struggle now.
It's because your fucking brain cells now seems like melting, and you go,
That
ugh.
being said, though, like I think in a prep sometimes I actually make my food less appetizing.
I don't. I make my fucking well nice.
I remember like whenever I'd have like chicken and veg, I just wouldn't season it. I put
I
salt.
think my mindset goes to like, right, I've got less food, so I'm gonna make it taste really nice, so it's just like a bit more, which is so backwards because it makes it
In my
more
head,
rich
though, if I looked forward to a meal, I get angry.
in
So I
prep.
don't want to look forward to a meal because that made me feel hungrier. So I would literally, there was some days where I'd have like cream, I would have like whey and fruit. I wouldn't even make it into a paste. I'd just eat the fruit and just down the way. Don't care. And then I'd have chicken, almond butter, and veg. I'd have to put the almond butter on top, but that was annoying. When it was just chicken and veg, easy, plain and salt.
Just mad is in prep. You could literally probably eat fucking grass with dog shit smothered on it, and you go sound.
Thing is, though, that was my favorite meal, though. It
What
was
dog shit on grass?
no chicken, plain chicken, and just green beans. It was absolutely amazing when I was on prep.
I'm on butter and chicken.
Yeah, elite. But going back to anabolics. To be fair, I say going back to. Is there much really to leave on there? I feel like we've covered most things
I
here.
think we're still on this topic, to be honest. I quite like it.
Yeah,
Actually, I think right. Do you know what the maddest thing is, right, about prep for me? The amount of times I drooled on prep. Like,
his first prep I was like that. Second prep I wasn't.
oh God, you're more militant than me.
No, second prep when I didn't look at food or anything like that. I just looked at spending too much money. Have I told you about my shoe
Yeah.
addiction?
Yeah.
No, have I showed you about my shoe addiction in prep?
Yeah. I got a nosebleed. That's great. Um,
Blood pressure's fantastic.
what's that? 200 over 105. Great, mate. That's
Is that
fantastic.
it?
What?
There's
Oh,
a bit
sorry.
better than that.
What, 300? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like when I was in prep, I remember like a lot of people were like, oh, I'm just gonna look through like food places. I would literally just go on to like, the sneakers app where it's like
Yeah.
the Nike sort of like drops. I go on there and I just favorite shoes that I liked. And I get a notification, I'd be like, right, well, there's two shoes here that I quite like. I'll try and get both of them. If I get both, I'll just send one back. I did that,
And
wore them,
kettlebell.
liked both, didn't send any back. But then I got my bill at the end of the month and I was like, I've just spent a grand extra on literally things I didn't need. So yeah, that was great. And then I tried to sell one of the shoes in December because they were actually too small for me anyway. They were like half a size too small. They were like you were there PCA finals second day, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my white blue Jordan 4s. My feet were in agony. I had like bruises on my feet when I got home. I had to change them halfway on the drive home. So I ended up selling them, but they got lost because I sent them over December. They got lost around Christmas time. They got eventually sent back to me 3 weeks ago, and then I sold them for someone else for 20 quid more.
Profit. What I was going to
So I
say.
still lost about 40 quid on them, but at least that's sorted. But yeah, the hopefully this prep I don't really buy too many things that I don't need. Saying this now, I'll probably
So this is the reason why they say you need to be financially stable for prep because it's not for the
well,
show.
it's not just prep that costs money, it's what you do as well. You do a lot of stupid things.
In prep,
I probably spent about a grand on just pointless stuff like clothes and shoes and stuff. And I also probably spent about a grand on traveling because I was like, oh, what's Sam doing? I'm gonna go and train with him today.
I might, bro. It's the same for me. My prep last year. What did I do? So I was bored one day, so I reorganized my room, which involved buying a new desk, a new monitor, some furniture for my room. So now I'm 300 quid deep just because randomly I thought I'm bored, I'm prep. I'll just make my room look cool. I bought some new headphones for my computer. Oh, I bought a new keyboard, a new mouse. Um, I think I booked a holiday. Uh, yeah. So the shows are expensive, but it's what you buy in prep is also expensive. Um,
Also, like it's also I paid £450 to do 3 classes at Two Bros ZFN games last year and didn't do the show.
Do you know what I think my logistics behind buying things on prep is as well? This is gonna be the worst logistics ever for it. But I think, right, I'm spending less money on food now. So I'll go and buy a holiday.
Yeah,
It's like 20 quid less per week, like max.
I'm terrified for this year. I'm going to be in my fucking overdraft, I reckon.
Well,
Coach,
I'm doing my first
coaching link
assisted
in
prep.
bio, please.
I'm doing my first assisted prep, so that's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
I'm worried though because I feel like if I do well, I'll just go trigger happy on anything. I'm scared.
Shoe retailers be warned.
I like I can imagine just September I'll get bored and just do a £1,000 Trinity clothing giveaway. I've still got a giveaway to do. I've still got
Not,
£50 to give away. I don't really
not
know how
happening. It's been revoked. It's been revoked.
probably has. I got messages to do it like 2 months ago. I still haven't done it.
Our dear listeners have missed out. Also, during prep, right? I said about the food thing, right? I'll be honest, I am a heavily food focused guy, but I don't cheat.
I'm the
So,
opposite. I fucking hate food.
but that's the cheat though. But no, sorry, but I don't cheat. So that's at least my rationale behind it. Some people are food focused and they cheat in their diet. So
I've got something brilliant to tell you, and this is what I think we'll leave the podcast on. But I'll tell you after.
yeah, but literally, I remember my first prep. This is probably the worst. Oh no, I didn't do this list prep, so I've improved. But last prep to get my steps in, I might have told you this before. To get my steps in, I used to go to Tesco's, which is down the road from me, walk around every single aisle, find something else on club cards, which was like some sort of item, biscuits or crisps or something, buy it, and then bring it back home, put it in a box for after prep.
Use the hoard food. Wow.
Yeah. So I hoarded that much that some of it expired by the
You
time I
can
got to
tell
it.
Sam was a natty men's physique kid in his first prep, can't you?
That's why I was fat, 'cause I was thinking about food all the time on stage. Whereas my at least my second show I got peeled and didn't hoard food, so it's a win-win somewhere. But I did save a lot of food videos. Literally, there's a part of my TikTok, right? If I scroll down far enough, where it goes from like it just goes from like funny memes to then a big wall of food, which is where a prep was. And then you go past that, it's just more funny memes again. Um,
I genuinely couldn't even. I think I don't really know what I watched when I was in prep. Love Island, a lot of Love Island. Love Island's great. It's best TV ever.
I
Uh,
really hope it's something good this year for when I'm prepping.
Love Island Beyond.
I don't know, Love Island shit now.
Well, it's not. Love Island reality telly is fucking brilliant. I love it. It's amazing. There's only a week left of this Love Island. I'm gutted, man.
You're applying, I heard, aren't you?
I'm applying.
For a Love Island, yeah.
Might do. Yeah. Going as a bombshell, just like stir shit.
Are you 6 foot? No. Oh, sorry.
There was someone who went on. There was someone who went on Love Island. There was two people from my gym who've been on Love Island. It's really weird. There's three if I count another gym I go to.
Not the I don't know what the only bodybuilder I can think of is a tattooed lad. Do you know that there's a tattooed lad who's the fireman. Do you remember him?
Um,
Tattooed.
the guy does PCA.
Yeah, black men's physique, black lad.
It was there was a guy last year who trains at one of the gym I go to every now and then. There was two people from the main gym I go to. My old boss prepped someone from
Oh,
one
it
of
was
the
Anton as well, wasn't there?
yeah. But basically, I think one of the Love Island criteria was just like do half decent in PCA men's physique, and you get on there pretty well.
Have some tattoos. Have literally the criteria. Have some decent arms. Oh, while I'm out, that's fine. No worries. I'll apply next year.
And thought you've
Maybe.
got good legs. Fucking pointless.
I need to increase the other dose so I can get some more fucking arms, and I'll apply.
Yeah, the issue that I had, this was Friday, and I was with Tom Pedder. And was it Friday or was it Saturday? Friday. Yeah, Friday. Just trained legs.
Sleeper at Tom Petter's house.
Yeah. We went
God.
for food afterwards. And I was like, well, for some reason we had finished and it was like 6 p.m. and I'd had two meals. And I was like, well, it's unless I literally shit myself and I hate my life, I'm not going to get my normal 3 meals in. Haven't had an off plan this week. I usually have an off plan every week. So I was like, I'll go for an off plan. Pull up to Nando's. And I'm like, Nando's, I can usually get an order for like 3,500 calories, which is generally very clean. load of protein, will be sound. Cool, lovely. Also had a red chili reward, so like I get a meal for free, and I was like, perfect, sick. Half an hour wait just for a table. So that means an hour wait with getting food. So I was like, we're not going there. Went somewhere else, and there's a burrito place, and it was no one was really in there, so it's not really in the queue. I was like, okay, Sam, we'll go in there, get some food. And I thought the side was going to be like fries. It wasn't, it was just little like nachos with nothing, just salt. And I was like, in my head, I was like, that's probably not even 1,000 calories because it wasn't even that big. Get back, and I was like, I just want to check. My body weight was like half a pound heavier than it was that morning before, and I had just dropped 2.5 pound. So I woke up at like 221.5 pound. My body weight at that point was 222, and I was like, I can't go back to 220. I've underate again somehow. So then I went on Deliveroo and just ordered the Nando's I was gonna get. But I got extra wings.
Tom Petty, you need to do better, mate, in controlling Josh's diet, please.
No, I worked it out though. I think I had like an extra 100 grams of protein that day. The body weight went back up to
What do
220.
you fucking have? A whole chicken?
No, I had four. Well, no, I didn't have more. It was like four thighs, wings, garlic bread, chips, and then I had the starter as well. But I was actually need to get food. I probably still underate as well. It's great. I'm back up. I need my peak body weight for this off season so far. I'm 224 and a half.
Yeah, so Christian's increased my food 3 weeks on the trot. My scale weight has moved by 1 pound.
Yeah, Tim increased my body weight, my food 3 weeks from the top. Body weight went down.
Oh, you win.
And then like 2 weeks ago, I was like, mate, I can't. I'm not hungry ever. Reduced my protein, up my carbs, and I was like, I feel much better now. Sick.
Being in Christian's shoes, mate, I just hate it. Do you know when you do so, you make a change as a coach and then nothing happens, you go, what's happening?
It's got to the point where I actually feel bad because I'm not actually trying to be annoying anymore.
Yeah, bro, I'm waiting for
Like,
Christian
no,
to.
I put an update out and I was like, I've dropped 5 pound since Monday. Tim messaged me instantly on WhatsApp after he saw it. He goes, it's just fucking daily issues with you, isn't it? Immediately just changed my food. I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, have you missed me? I was like, no.
Bro, I'm waiting for Christian next check-in because I think I've hit my peak this week of 202, right? I'm actually, that's really nice though. I'm
If you
actually
were
really,
Hugh,
bro,
buddy,
I'm fucking, I've got the Hugh curse. Hugh has cursed me right now. I need to put Hugh, send me some pink board shorts, mate. 'Cause I'm literally doing a Hugh right now. It feels embarrassing. Like Christian goes and checking and he goes, oh, so we're up like by 0.6 pounds this week. All right, we'll do a food increase, great. 3 weeks on the trot, mate. I'll probably get like half pound each week, right? If that. And I hit 202 this week. So my peak on testosterone was 210, but I was actually pretty like full and watery there. But right now, I'm actually in a really good place to start prep if I wanted to start now. But um,
thing is, I'm quite like put off by myself at the moment because post show rebound went really well. Gained like 30 pounds and like still had lines through my glutes, and I was like, sick. I'm gonna get to 240. I'm gonna look like 240 in like really good condition. And Tim was like, yeah, like at least 230. I don't even think I'll hit 230. I don't I can't see it happening. I've got a really bad image in my head of being this time next week we'll do a podcast on 222.
I'm just waiting for Christian to send me the message going, right, can you send me the pictures of all your meals, please, so I can make sure you're I'm actually genuinely scared.
I might have to start doing just shots of just olive oil.
I'm eating all the fucking food, man. Like, bro, I even had like the other day at work, I had all my food and I also had like a 500 calorie fucking like treat because I was like, fuck yeah, I want one, right?
When the weight dropped.
Yeah, pound down the next day. I was like, Slin as well as introduced. We forgot to talk about Slin by the way, but we'll talk about Slin another
Well,
day.
yeah, we should have spoke about sin. To be fair, I I put on my story. It wasn't. I was taking the piss, but a lot of people thought I was being serious. When me and Tom Pedder went out for food a couple of weeks ago, I went out for like a steak meal. I put plus Nova Rapid. I didn't actually take Nova Rapid with it. Um, if it was post workout, I would have done. Um, but yeah, still body weight did go up. To go
This
back
game,
to me and
this game
Michelle podcast.
sucks. This game sucks sometimes, you know.
To be fair, that day, did you see my close friend's story?
Yeah,
The when I went clubbing,
yeah,
worst night. No, not worst. I think it was a nice night, but it was the worst like 10 minutes of my life.
yeah. That looked fun.
Horrendous.
I think you should do it again.
No, it was supposed to be like a normal, quiet bar. Went in there, it's just fucking Katy Perry, really loud, and just loads of like 18-year-olds.
Mate, you're hot on your cold. You know what I mean?
It actually was that song.
Yeah, deadly. That. Do you know what? Some of these tunes send me under, you know. Like I feel like they're the tunes I might listen to in my car on a solo drive, which
Oh no,
might
no, no. My most recent played at the moment is SOS by Rihanna.
Rihanna. Rihanna's pretty hot. Sorry, Jen.
Rihanna's cool.
Jen, you're not listening to this, but Jen, if you're listening, Rihanna's. I mean,
Would you say that's your hall pass?
no, I've got way too many people to be a hall pass.
We've got other people on the hall pass.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few
Got a lot
people.
of hall passes.
What?
You've just got a lot of hall passes.
I'd hope so. Jen, give me some hall passes. No, I think, I don't know. Rihanna's probably there, but there's other people I'll probably put in front, which is hard to say.
What's your top three?
There's one that's on my head, but she's got the massive tits. I don't know what's her name. What's her name? She's an actor. She's very, very common with
Well,
everyone.
we'll end the podcast on hall passes.
What's that actor called? What she's out of? She's out of is it, oh my, why is her name not
I've
coming to
got two.
Sydney Sweeney? Is that her?
Mm.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, bruv. She's defo top three.
Who's that?
You'll know when you see her. Yeah.
Is it Sydney as in the place?
Yes.
Really?
I put yeah, just
She's got really big teeth. Sorry if you're watching this. I don't think she will be.
definitely not watching this ever.
Might be. She might be interested in whether
I'll
she's.
probably I actually probably would have put Rihanna up there to be fair.
I'd say. And he said Proviron, fucking hell. I would say
I'll put
probably.
Provider on there and Master on in my four pass, I reckon.
I put Rihanna and then like Megan Fox in Transformers.
Oh, Transformers one, yes. That is the one. Wait, we I think we did this in the group chat, didn't we? Did like what was it? Was it what did we do? What did we do? You give some categories and then we had to like we fucking
What group chat are we on about?
I think it's mine, yours, and Danny, I think.
What I know because there's some things that we've said in that group chat which I don't think we should probably speak on.
You give some categories and you said, right, and then like you listed like yours, and then you said to me, like, I was like, oh, that's a good shout. And then I was like, oh, here's, and you were like, oh, answer the question. What would you, and then the five categories. Oh, I need to find it now, but I can't find it. You'll know what I'm on about, but,
I don't think I know what you
and
mean.
I said Megan Fox Transformers one in it,
She's
and you're like,
good.
oh, good shout.
Elite, absolutely elite.
But anyway, I think that's where we end the podcast.
That was a great podcast. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed. We actually are going to get back on top of it and get these out weekly or twice a week. We want to start getting guests on as well because I haven't done a guest episode in like a month. So we'll get that out. I've also had a few people asking for another episode of Roast Your Physiques if you want to do that.
Nah.
Fair enough.
We'll do it because it is great. But if you want us to do it, we need some people to put the names forward. So we'll put some boxes out.
We'll put
We'll
a
do
box up like I think we'll probably put a box up like this time next week.
yeah.
And if we get like say 5 or 6, we'll run through them on any podcast. I mean, maybe we've got like a guest on as well. It'd be quite cool.
I think
Uh,
no, I think we can do like our own episode on it and just do like an update plus roast your physiques.
yeah, cool.
Something or topic and roast your physiques, something like that because yeah. Or if we get more than six, we get to like 10 or something, we'll then just do it on a full episode of roast your physiques.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching or listening. To be fair, maybe not listening because I've forgotten to put up the recent podcast to Spotify, which I am going to do. probably in 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much for watching and or listening. If you have, like, subscribe, comment the word Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just so we and if when you put on your story, put the word Fox, just so we know you've got this far. And we'll do absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah, we won't.
Or just
I won't like your story.
or the word hall pass.
That's 2 words.
One word, hall underscore pass. Yeah. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you probably in about 5 weeks when we remember to do another
Is
one.
that sniff needed?
Huh?
Uh,
Yeah, I'm ill. I'm just
fuck
getting my
that.
excuses. I'm just getting my excuses from my bodybuilding.
Right. See ya.
Bye.